Hello, hello! The Christmas is around the corner and everyone is in a festive mood. So today I'm showing the recipe for a rich, delicious plum cake or fruit cake without using eggs and alcohol. So without wasting further time, let's start the recipe. So first step is soaking dried fruits. So here I've taken a cup of dried fruits, which is a mixture of sultanas, glazed cherries and candied fruits. Into that I'm adding zest of an orange. Don't take the white part, only the outer part. And I'm adding a cup of orange juice into the dried fruits. Now preparing flour. To 1.5 cup of all-purpose flour, I'm adding half a cup of corn flour, and into that 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then into the prepared flour mixture I'm adding 1 teaspoon of cloves, 1 teaspoon of ginger powder, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon powder and 1 teaspoon of nutmeg powder. So add these lovely spices into the flour and 2 teaspoons of baking powder into the mix, then a teaspoon of baking soda. Mix everything together and set it aside. Now going back to our soaked fruits, after an hour I'm straining out all the soaked fruits and then I'm adding half a cup of nuts and then a little bit of flour to coat the dried fruits and nuts so that it won't sink to the bottom of the cake, and keep it aside. Now I'm taking a cup of milk and 1 tablespoon of vinegar added into that. So here I'm using half a cup of it instead of eggs. So keep it aside and let's start working on our cake batter. I have taken 200 grams of softened butter. Cream it up until it's soft and pale yellow. After that, add 1 cup of brown sugar and cream together the butter and sugar. You can use a wooden spoon instead of the beater, but the beater is way much easier. And then into the creamed butter and sugar mixture, I'm adding the flour that we prepared earlier in batches. So I'm mixing slowly with the cream and sugar mixture, and then now I'm adding little by little of those buttermilk that we prepared earlier. I'm using only half a cup of buttermilk. Now add the dried fruits and nuts and mix it with the batter. Now here I've taken a treacle syrup. This is optional, but if you add a tablespoon of treacle syrup into your cake batter, that will give the cake a really dark color and a rich flavor. So I'm adding into the mixture. Make sure that you leave a little bit of parchment paper or the baking paper above the cake tin level so that we can avoid the burnt edges of the cake. Now I'm going to bake this cake for 160 degrees Celsius for 1 hour and 10 minutes. So now the cake is cooked. I'm testing it with a skewer inserted into the center of the cake. The skewer came out clean. I'm cooling the cake completely and I'm cutting it. And let's have a look how beautiful the cake is. Guys, don't forget to try this recipe and let me know how it turned out, and see you all in the next video. Stay tuned. Bye bye, and wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bye bye.